Have you ever wondered what lurks in the endless black of the ocean's depths? Imagine a world where the rules of survival have twisted into something entirely unfamiliar, where monstrous jaws snatch unsuspecting prey, translucent bodies pulse with ghostly light, and creatures perform feats so strange they defy the limits of the imagination. Even now, as you listen, the vast majority of this underwater world remains concealed, waiting beyond the reach of sunlight, shrouded in cold, silence, and mystery. Beneath the ocean's surface lies a realm so alien, it may as well exist on another planet. Our blue planet is defined by its waters. With over 70% of the Earth cloaked in ocean, these waters plunge into pitch-black depths, deeper than Mount Everest is tall. And yet, according to the best estimates of marine science, humans have only glimpsed about 10% of the species that inhabit our seas. The rest, the weirdest, wildest, and most otherworldly creatures, live out their entire lives in darkness. Here, in these inhospitable trenches, survival requires innovation, and evolution has answered the challenge with nightmarish creativity. Let's journey into this darkness, starting with one of the ocean's strangest hunters, the gulper eel. This jaw-dropping little fish is about as alien as they come. At a quick glance, its slender, ribbon-like body seems unthreatening, until its enormous mouth unfurls like some grotesque parachute. Unhinging its jaws, the gulper eel can swallow prey twice its own size in a single, horrifying gulp. Imagine being a fish, swimming along in the safety of the abyss, only to be engulfed by a mouth seemingly conjured from thin air. Unlike the classic sharks or tunas whose razor teeth are always on display, the gulper eel lives in darkness. Its body is a subtle trap, and its jaw is the last thing a captured animal ever sees. Strange predators aren't the only residents of the deep. Scavengers, masters of patience and adaptation, haunt the seabed, waiting for the bounty that sometimes falls from above. This brings us to the zombie worm, a creature as chilling as its name. Also known as the Osedax, the zombie worm appears unassuming at first, a pinkish, root-like mass that resembles underwater moss. But this worm has neither mouth nor stomach. Instead, it survives through a mind-boggling form of digestion. Secreting acid through its skin, the zombie worm dissolves the bones of massive whale carcasses that settle onto the ocean floor. Once reduced, the nutrients are absorbed by a community of bacteria living inside the worm, which in turn support the worm's existence. In other words, these worms are living chemical factories recycling bones in a world stripped bare of easy meals. It's a partnership that borders on science fiction, an arrangement unlike anything found on land. But it wouldn't be the deep sea without creatures that seem to vanish into the abyss, both literally and figuratively. Imagine for a moment the black dragonfish. This slender, deadly predator has evolved a terrifying portfolio of features to survive in eternal midnight. A mouth lined with nearly invisible, needle-sharp teeth, skin so black it swallows up to 99.95% of the ambient light, and the ability to glow in utter darkness. Bioluminescence, the ability to generate visible light from one's own body, is common among deep-sea animals, and the black dragonfish uses it to hunt. It can produce flashes of light to lure its prey close, and even communicate using red wavelengths that most other deep-sea creatures cannot detect. To observers from the surface, the fish seems to flicker in and out of existence, a living shadow from a nightmare. How do such bizarre creatures come to be? The answer, marine biologists say, is evolution under pressure, literally and figuratively. Imagine for a moment being subjected to freezing temperatures, overwhelming darkness, and water pressures hundreds of times greater than what we feel on the surface. According to experts like Dr. Carla Mendez, these conditions push life to its limits. Over eons, nature has written new rules for survival, leading to traits found nowhere else on Earth. Dr. Mendez describes these animals as alien, the result of millions of years spent adapting to extremes. Equally fascinating is the rate at which we continue to uncover the ocean's living secrets. Oceanography is still a young science, and researchers regularly encounter surprises in every new exploration. Dr. Lucas Turner, an oceanographer with years of experience in deep-sea expeditions, describes their findings in almost reverent terms. Each descent into the trench or rocky canyon can yield species so strange, so morphologically unique, they simply refuse to slot neatly into known categories of life. The ocean, it seems, is constantly rewriting the boundaries of what is possible. Bioluminescence itself stands as testament to nature's infinite inventiveness. In the darkness below, it is a primary language, a way to hunt, defend, attract mates, and even warn rivals. Consider the anglerfish, infamous for the glowing lure that dangles from its forehead. In pitch darkness, this eerie beacon draws curious fish straight into the angler's waiting jaws, where a mouth lined with grotesquely long teeth snaps shut with shocking speed. Anglerfish display another remarkable adaptation as well: sexual dimorphism taken to extremes. While the female reaches larger sizes and acts as the hunter, the male is a tiny parasite, biting onto the female and fusing with her body, living out the rest of his days as a source of sperm and little else. Elsewhere, transparency triumphs as camouflage. Some deep-sea denizens, like the glass squid or the larval eel Leptocephalus, have evolved nearly invisible, gelatinous bodies. This transparency helps them evade predators in waters where the faintest glimmer could spell doom. The glass squid, in particular, floats through the water almost undetectable, its internal organs packed together to minimize casting a shadow when a faint light passes overhead. This cloak of invisibility buys it precious moments to escape. Still, not all survival tricks are so subtle. Take the sea cucumber, for instance, a creature best known for its unassuming, sausage-like form. But when threatened, the sea cucumber can perform a startling act of self-defense, ejecting its own internal organs, a sticky web of guts and toxins, to ensnare and discourage would-be attackers. The ejected viscera can entangle predators or simply act as a distraction long enough for the cucumber to slither away. Astonishingly, the sea cucumber can regrow these lost organs within weeks, a feat that would border on the miraculous in higher animals. And then there are the comb jellies, also known as ctenophores. Fantasy-like in their appearance, they drift through the water as glowing, rippling bands of color. Their bodies pulse with electric rainbows, a side effect of cilia row movement, creating an effect reminiscent of living fiber optics. While often mistaken for jellyfish, comb jellies are a separate branch of animal life. Some species can regenerate lost parts, including portions of their own bodies, giving them an almost mythic reputation among marine biologists. Survival in the deep often means breaking every rule we know about biology. Consider the giant tube worms found around hydrothermal vents, deep-sea chimneys that spew boiling, mineral-laden water into the crushing cold. These worms do not rely on sunlight at all. Instead, they house chemosynthetic bacteria in their tissues, which turn toxic hydrogen sulfide into energy. It is, effectively, life without sunlight. A reminder that ecosystems can thrive under conditions once thought impossible. All these strange adaptations raise a question. Why is the deep sea so weird? Part of the answer lies in isolation. Life on the surface is connected, blending and competing in an endless dance. But life in the abyss is cut off by miles of crushing water, leading to evolutionary experiments that can spiral in unusual directions. When food is scarce, animals either evolve monstrous jaws or minuscule forms, devilish hunting methods, or ghostly camouflage. Some become living shadows, fading into the black. Others become walking weaponry, lacing their bodies with venom and toxins. The diversity is staggering. Curiously, for every strange resident we do know, there are countless more waiting in obscurity. Each technological breakthrough, whether it's a new submersible or a remote camera, pushes the boundary a bit deeper, and each time, researchers are rewarded with the discovery of utterly novel forms of life. Some are so odd, they seem to mock the limits of biology. Pale, eyeless fish, octopuses that walk instead of swim, shrimp that generate blinding flashes of light with the snap of a claw. One particularly haunting creature is the barrel-eye fish. Its transparent head reveals the workings of its brain and muscles, the green, lens-shaped eyes swiveling inside its skull as it peers upward for the silhouettes of prey. Alien as it looks to us, for the barrel-eye, transparency is a shield, letting it process the faintest hints of movement in a world where light is a precious commodity. And then there are the siphonophores, related to jellyfish, but composed of hundreds or even thousands of specialized individuals, fused into a single drifting colony. Some siphonophores, like the mighty Praia dubia, can stretch longer than a blue whale, forming luminous chains that trail through the darkness. Each part of the colony is a distinct animal: the larva, the swimmer, the feeder, the trapper, all linked together for mutual survival. All these marvels, these monsters and ghosts, remind us just how little we know about our own planet. The deep sea is more than a place. It is an engine of biological innovation. Nowhere else on Earth do the boundaries of life flex, twist, and bend in as many ways. Even as we listen to expert opinions, it's clear that the deep ocean is not just Earth's least explored region, but also one of its most dynamic. New species are revealed almost with every expedition, some so unique that scientists struggle to classify them according to established taxonomies. This flood of discovery is not slowing down. In fact, it is accelerating as we build new ways to peer into the eternal night below. What will we find next? A new predator that glides unseen? An organism that lives centuries or even millennia? Perhaps animals with biology so unfamiliar, they transform our understanding of life itself. Of all the strange adaptations in the sea, perhaps none is more bizarre than self-destruction for survival. The sea cucumber is just one example. It regrows what it loses, a rare privilege in nature. Elsewhere, squids can autotomize or shed parts of their arms as a distraction while escaping. Some fish even produce ink or bursts of bioluminescence when threatened, dazzling their enemies for a critical moment of escape. Yet for all their terrifying qualities, the creatures of the deep are fragile, adapted to a narrow band of existence. Human activity, even a brief intrusion, can leave scars that linger for centuries. Pollution, deep-sea mining, and climate change threaten these remarkable creatures, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. their very strangeness may become their downfall, unless we learn quickly to value and protect these alien worlds. As we close our exploration, it's worth pausing to wonder at the ocean's endless capacity for surprise. Nature, when given free rein under extreme conditions, crafts life forms that challenge preconceptions and spark our imagination. In the deep sea, giants lurk, and ghosts drift in eternal twilight. Creatures glow, vanish, devour, and regenerate in defiance of all we know. Their existence reminds us of the humility required to study nature, to accept that our planet is far from tamed, and its greatest mysteries remain hidden, tens of thousands of feet below. Who knows what else waits in that depthless vault of darkness? With every new discovery, whether a fish with a mouth that unhinges like a monstrous trap, a jelly with living lights, or a worm with acid-drenched roots, we are reminded that Earth holds stories still untold. For now, the ocean keeps its most haunting secrets, drifting within reach, yet always just out of sight. The thrill of that mystery continues to draw scientists and dreamers alike, as we hope to learn not just about the ocean, but about life itself, its rules, its boundaries, and its incredible infinite potential.